Taiwan is bursting with heaps of fun places to explore. Join me, Amber Hatfield, as I hit up travel hotspots, soak up some culture, and hunt down hidden gems. Let's go! Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go. You're here with me, your host, Amber Hatfield, in the show where we talk travel. I talk to guests about the different places they've been to in Taiwan, their experiences, and explore different activities that you can do in Taiwan. If you didn't catch last week's episode, you can go back and listen to my experience of SUP or stand-up paddleboarding that I did in Hualien over the Lunar New Year holiday. So go back and listen to that if you haven't already. But if you have, then stick around for today's episode where we're going to talk about the Taiwan Lantern Festival. So what is the Taiwan Lantern Festival? Well, let's start by talking about Lantern Festival in general. Lantern Festival is a holiday that is celebrated in China, Taiwan, and other Asian countries on the 15th day of the first month of the lunar calendar. So the lantern aims to promote this reconciliation, peace, and forgiveness. And during the festival, people's houses have colorful lanterns, people write on them, and people even send these lanterns up into the sky with messages on them. In Taiwan, on the 15th day of the first month of the lunar calendar, there is a lantern festival called the Sky Lantern Festival in Pingxi, where people do this. They make lanterns and they write things on them and they set them off into the sky. Now, this only lasts for around 3 days, and this is the Pingxi Sky Lantern Festival. But there is another lantern festival, which is the annual Lantern Festival of Taiwan, which is held in different cities every year, and also coincides with the 15th day of the first month of the lunar calendar. This year, the Taiwan Lantern Festival was held in Tainan, and the main lantern area of this lantern festival was lit up on the 24th of February this year, which is the 15th day of the first lunar month. However, it doesn't just last for a couple of days, it actually lasted even this month until the 10th of March. This lantern festival is much different than the Pingxi Sky Lantern Festival, where people are letting off lanterns that they've written on into the sky. The annual Taiwan Lantern Festival is actually made up of large lantern installations that are created by various different artists and are laid out in a large area like a park where people can walk through and get to admire all the beautiful lanterns that are part of this lantern festival. The 2024 Lantern Festival is the 35th edition of the Taiwan Lantern Festival, and it's come back to Tainan after a 16-year hiatus. So it hasn't been held in Tainan for 16 years, which is pretty crazy. And this event is also coinciding this year with Tainan City's celebration of 400 years. So it's the 400th anniversary of Tainan City and also the Lantern Festival as well. So it's a really historic milestone, and it has so many visitors going down to Tainan this year. This year, as you know, is the year of the dragon. So the festival takes on a theme which is very dragon related. And the festival in Tainan this year actually has 2 different zones. One of them is in Anping, which is an old area of Tainan nearby the water, nearby the ocean. And the other is by the high-speed rail station, the high-speed rail display zone. And this is the larger area of the Lantern Festival, probably because it's near somewhere that's easy for everyone to get to. If they put it by the high-speed rail, that means that people can come easily from other cities to come and watch the Lantern Festival or to come and experience it. This area by the HSR or high-speed rail has nearly 300 different light and shadow artworks, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's so beautiful to see all of the sparkling, twinkly, different colored lights of all the lanterns. The main lantern in this year's Lantern Festival is this giant dragon lantern. It's called Dragon Comes to Taiwan, and it's 22 meters high and standing on this large platform, so it really towers above you. It was designed by an artist called Peng Lijun. And something that's really, really good about it and cool about it is that it uses solar energy storage system. So this is actually the most energy efficient main lantern that they have had in the Lantern Festival so far. The main lantern stands in front of a main stage where loads of different performers also come to perform during the different nights of the Lantern Festival. The night that I was there was like a circus group performing that came from Cambodia, and they did lots of different tricks like flips and balancing and stuff like that. It was a pretty fun show, but it was also kind of hard to see because there was quite a big crowd. And the crowd was strangely quiet and not really clapping so much. My friend and I were clapping a lot, and people were actually looking at us for clapping rather than clapping for the circus group, which I thought was strange. And now on each side of the main stage, there were these two dragons, these beautiful dragon lanterns. They're supposed to be based on the Chinese 5 elements theory and were made by an artist called Lan Yongqi. The dragon on one side is supposed to be like a auspicious cloud and mountain dragon, which is a golden kind of color. And then on the other side of the stage, it's a water dragon, which resides in ocean and rivers. So it's like a blue dragon. And these two dragons are supposed to create this auspicious blessing for the dragon year. Honestly, they were so beautiful, and I just can't imagine how much time it must have taken for someone to create this. Other lanterns that were placed around the Lantern Festival, large lanterns made by artists, were ones like for fortune, prosperity, and health. Other ones were made for having success in promotions or success in competitions. They all had these little boards next to them explaining what they were for or what their name meant. Others were like having a successful childbirth or successful finances or success in marriage or success in your studies or success in love. So it's just like a really heartwarming thing that you look at these lanterns and they're super beautiful, but they also have this message behind them as well, which I think is really nice, and it just really adds to the meaning of the festival. One of my favorite lanterns that I saw this year was a whale lantern. It's this giant whale, looks like it's coming out from the water, surrounded by these flying fish, which is like a symbol of Taiwan because you see a lot of flying fish in the waters around Taiwan. It's really colorful, and it's got all these little balls, lit up balls in different colors around the edge of it, and it looks like a whale splashing up from the ocean. It's so gorgeous. And another area of the Lantern Festival that I thought was really cool this year was this competition area. So people had made lanterns and then entered them into a competition. So there was an area where some lanterns were obviously made by upcoming artists or people who had decided that they want to make a lantern and put it into the competition. So you could walk around and see those as well. And you could see how much effort went into these lanterns. And one of them that was really cool was a dragon lantern that had a moving part. So the lantern was also moving as well and so colorful. And another one that had 400, happy 400 for celebrating Tainan's 400th birthday and the Lantern Festival as well. And I keep saying another one of my favorites. It seems I had a lot of favorites, but another one of my favorite lanterns this year was one that has water buffalo in it, and it looks like on a wetland with water buffalo and birds on the wetland and pulling carts, and there's hay and everything. It's very scenic, and it kind of displays Tainan. So I thought that was great. Something that I wasn't actually aware of before I went to the Lantern Festival was that there are even tours being offered, free guided tours for the Lantern Festival in both Mandarin and in English as well. So people could make reservations online to attend these tours where the tour guide will take you through the lantern zones and explain to you about Taiwan's historic city and culture and about the artists and the art of the lanterns. Now, I've been to lantern festivals quite a few times around Taiwan. I think the last time I went to one was in Taichung, maybe in 2019. I think it was for the Year of the Pig. And that one was really nice. But I think this one was definitely my favorite this year in Tainan. Probably partly because Tainan was my first home that I came to when I lived in Taiwan. So going back to Tainan to see the Lantern Festival was definitely like a way to reminisce for me and also to see some old friends. So aside from the Lantern Festival, I did see my old friends and we did do some other nice stuff. If you like food in Tainan, I would definitely recommend that you go to a tofu place, a stinky tofu place called Xialin Chou Doufu. And it's super good, but the queue is pretty long. But that stinky tofu is so good because the outside's really crunchy and the sauce is so tasty. And I don't know, there's just something about it. It's super yummy. And I also was like a Tainan food tourist for the weekend. And I went to eat so many different things. I had different scallion pancakes. I went to eat the chewy taro balls with the grass jelly that I can get in Tainan. You can get it everywhere, but in Tainan it's especially good. And I kind of ate my way around Guohuajie, which is one of the food streets in Tainan, which people like to go to get all their different snacks. And we also went to Amping as well and watched the sunset on the beach, which was just amazing. So overall, the Lantern Festival was great. As you're hearing this episode, it's actually going to be the final day of the Lantern Festival today. So make sure you go to the Lantern Festival next year. If you're coming to visit Taiwan, I definitely think you should come and you should go to see the Lantern Festival because it's super beautiful and really worth it. All right, that's all we have time for today on Let's Go, and I will see you next week for more travel. Bye.